Okay, just a quick video today, but a really important one, and probably the most common error I see with the club golfers that I coach, and that is where we're actually striking the ball in the arc, or more specifically, on the arc relative to our body motion. Massive topic if you want to get compression, you want to get ball first, then divot. Let's get going. Okay, let's just make sure we're all on the same page in terms of understanding the concept of how an iron shot is struck. So, you know, we've got this swing arc which is moving up and down and around us a little bit as well. And the bottom of that arc must always be, with an iron shot, past the ball. In fact, I've got my cane on the ground here. The bottom of the arc would be, for a good player with some speed, at least 4 inches past the ball, certainly with a short iron that I've got here. So the club's moving down, hits the ball, continues to move down, and the divot bottoms out past the ball there. And part of that, a really key part of that, is being able to shift our pelvis to the side. So my left hip is over my left foot at impact, and of course delivering the club leaning forwards, and that leaning forwards motion is giving us a downwards angle of attack. And of course it's also de-lofting it, hence the compression and extra distance. So that's important to understand, you know, initially. But you know, when we start the game, we're generally taught something along the lines of this L to L pattern I'm making here. You know, the L shape in the arms and the L shape, and that is absolutely the way to start. Or maybe some circle drills like so. Very, very good exercise, covers some great basics. But the problem is with that motion, as I do that, the club is returning back to me in front of me. So if we think about where I'm striking it relative to the arc, the club has caught up with me and it is, you know, it is being struck in front of my body. We don't want to hit it with that part of the arc. Seriously good players don't do that. Seriously good players would hit it on this part of the arc back here. And this part of the arc, relative to our body motion, is where the club is moving down, and it's also where the face is more stable. So if I were to hit it over here, where the club has already passed me, the club is turning over, and of course it's moving up as well. So I want to hit it with this bit. And that means, as we move into the ball, we need to sort of get the club down to here, and then rotate like so. So I'm moving my weight forwards, and I'm rotating, and there is my shaft lean, and I have effectively hit it off my right hip, never letting the club kind of come out in front of me and pass me until the club gets kind of over here somewhere. So, you know, a really good mover wouldn't have the club pass them until somewhere in this part of the arc. So good exercises to do there are, first of all, that circle drill that we're probably all familiar, where we make circles with the club. That would be the kind of beginner idea. We can turn that into something a little bit more advanced by getting the club to kind of this space here and then allowing our body to turn. And you can see in that motion, sure enough, as I turn, I'm hitting it off my right side. So to bring that down to the ball then, maybe just hitting a few wedges. I mean, this is just I think this is a 54 actually. I would feel the club get to here and try and turn my body onto it. And as I do that, you'll notice that I'm having to turn my chest. So if my right shoulder stays back behind me because I'm trying desperately to stay on the inside, you'll see that the right arm has to throw in order to reach the ball. So that notion of saving the right arm is, you know, at the top of the backswing, the right arm would be 90 degrees, and as I move down, it straightens somewhat, but on good strikers, it's going to stay bent, and the right wrist is going to stay somewhat bent as I move down to impact. And as I say, that can't happen if the right shoulder stays back. So we do need to develop that sense of moving the body forwards and turning onto it. If we're too hell-bent on staying on the inside and hitting a draw, then you're always going to have the club kind of flashing past you too early. Issue with the low point and issue with the club face control as well. So here's an exercise I do a lot with students. I invite them just to find impact with a bag, trail arm only. So obviously right arm for right-handers, and that is to keep that bend in the arm as we rotate into the bag. I am keeping the bend in the arm and a little bend in that wrist. And in order to have that happen, I need to be able to rotate my hips and my chest into impact. And of course, I'm moving a little bit sideways as well. And in doing so, I am effectively hitting it with that part of the arc over there relative to my body. Never letting it pass me in this manner. And to many, the notion of having the right arm bent to impact and being more rotated is probably something they've not thought about. It's so intuitive to kind of hit a ball back in front of our body. But yeah, as we know in golf, for all the reasons we've just mentioned, that's not actually how it's done with elite players. Okay, so let's try those two movements. Let's first of all swoosh the club past me, and we'll see what kind of numbers we get from the launch monitor. Oh, that felt a bit thin. What have I got there? Face closed. Oh, I still managed to get some downwards attack. That doesn't always happen. Oh, there we go. That was properly allowing the right arm to swing out too early. I am 2.3 up and hit off the bottom of the club. That did not feel nice. Okay, in contrast then, we've done the exercise with the bag. We've got the feeling of the right arm staying bent and turning the body onto it, hitting it off our right side. Club's getting to here, turning onto it. Definitely, I wouldn't try and do this at speed. If your swing has always been one which is a bit swooshy in your release, doing it at speed it's going to be impossible to change. So I would just hit some half swings initially, and then maybe build it up from there. That felt good. Okay, wow, now that is different. So from 2.5 degrees hitting up on it when I hit it in front of me, meaning the low point is behind the ball, so lots of thin shots, lots of duff shots. When I rotated onto it, I am now 8.5, the club's moving 8.5 degrees down, the path is 0, and I mean in that occasion I turned the face in a little bit, so I hit a slight pull. But you can see I'm hitting it on that downwards part of the arc where the club would be moving more from the inside, and of course that's how we get ball first then divot, with the low point being somewhere over there. Right, one more go. That's where I want to be hitting it effectively, and turn onto it. And you can hear that thud in the mat. Yeah, very similar numbers, and 46 degrees of loft. So of course that's the shaft lean I'm getting from not throwing it. Remember, this starts with 54, so turning onto it, saving the right arm, I've managed to have you know, what's that, 8 degrees of shaft lean, which is plenty. Now that would really be a purposeful practice. If you were to go through those drills, listen out for that contact in the ground, watch the ball flight. That is purposeful practice. Until I see you next time, good luck, play well.